The orphanage reeked of stale porridge and despair. Valan knew every shadowed corner, every loose floorboard. He spent his days dodging blows and scrounging for scraps. The caretakers, if you could call them that, were cruel and uncaring. They saw the orphans as burdens, not children. Valan learned to be invisible. He was small for his age, nimble and quick-witted. Survival depended on it. The bigger boys, hardened by the streets, ruled the dormitories. Valan avoided their notice, finding solace in the forgotten corners of the dilapidated building. One day he stumbled upon a hidden passage in the basement. It was a secret, a place untouched by the grime and misery of the orphanage. Curiosity, a rare indulgence for Valan, drew him in. He followed the passage, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The tunnel opened into a small, dusty chamber. A single lantern flickered in the center, casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. And there, amidst the dust and cobwebs, stood a girl. She had fiery red hair and eyes that sparkled with an otherworldly light. This was Steshani, and her life, like Valan's, was about to change forever. Steshani was different. Valan sensed it from the moment they met. She spoke in hushed tones about things he didn't understand, about a power that hummed beneath the surface of the world. She called it magic, a force forbidden by the tyrannical order that ruled their city. Their secret meetings in the basement became Valan's only solace. Steshani taught him about the flow of energy, the delicate balance between the physical and the ethereal. She showed him how to sense the faintest currents of magic, how to manipulate them with a whispered word and a steady hand. Valan was a natural. He absorbed her teachings like a sponge, his fingers itching to explore the possibilities that magic offered. He learned to create illusions, to cloak himself in shadows, to make small objects dance with a flick of his wrist. But their idyllic sanctuary couldn't last forever. The Order's grip on the city tightened. Whispers of rebellion turned into open defiance. And Steshani, with her forbidden knowledge, was caught in the crosshairs. The fire started at night, a roaring inferno that consumed the orphanage in its fiery embrace. Valan awoke to the screams, the suffocating smoke, the searing heat that licked at his skin. He knew with chilling certainty that this was no accident. He raced through the smoke-filled corridors, his lungs burning, his heart pounding against his ribs. He found Steshani in their secret chamber, her face pale, her eyes filled with a desperate light. She shoved a small, crudely carved wooden figure into his hands. "Take it!" she gasped, her voice hoarse. "And run!" Valan didn't understand. He wanted to argue, to stay by her side, but the look in her eyes, the raw power that crackled around her fingertips told him that this was no time for questions. He clutched the wooden figure, a strange warmth emanating from it, and fled into the night. Behind him, the orphanage burned. The flames reached towards the sky, a pyre consuming his past, his pain, his only sanctuary. And as he ran, he swore he could hear Steshani's voice, carried on the wind, whispering his name. The streets of the city became Valan's new home. He was alone, haunted by the memory of that fiery night, the feel of the wooden figure warm against his chest. He learned to survive, to steal, to fight. He honed his skills, his body becoming lean and wiry, his senses razor-sharp. One day he crossed paths with Ray, a grizzled old rogue with a heart of gold and a talent for spotting potential. Ray saw something in Valan, a spark of defiance, a thirst for something more than the squalor of the streets. He took Valan under his wing, teaching him the art of thievery, the intricate dance of deception and daring. Valan excelled. He possessed a natural cunning, an uncanny ability to blend into the shadows, to anticipate his mark's every move. He rose through the ranks of the Thieves' Guild, his legend growing with each daring heist. But the memory of the fire, of Steshani's sacrifice, never left him. It burned within him, a silent vow to honor her memory, to unravel the truth behind that fateful night. Section 5. The Eye of Thalia. The Eye of Thalia. A legendary gem said to hold the power to see across time and space. It was a prize beyond imagining, guarded by a fearsome dragon in the heart of the Order's fortress. The mere mention of it sent shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned thieves. But Valan saw an opportunity, a chance to strike at the heart of the Order, to uncover the secrets they guarded so fiercely. He spent months planning, studying the fortress's defenses, learning the dragon's movements. He gathered a small team, the best the Thieves' Guild had to offer, united by their trust in Valan and their thirst for glory. The heist was a masterpiece of timing and precision. Valan, cloaked in shadows, bypassed the guards, his movements fluid and silent. He navigated the labyrinthine corridors, his heart pounding in his chest. He faced the dragon, its eyes blazing with ancient power, and with a combination of wit, skill, and a touch of magic, he emerged victorious. The eye of Thalia, a teardrop of pure energy, pulsed warmly in his hand. His legend was cemented. But for Valan, it was only the beginning. He now possessed the key to unlock the past, to uncover the truth behind the fire, to find Steshni. Section 6. Return to the Ashes. Years had passed since the fire. The orphanage lay in ruins, a testament to the cruelty of the Order and the resilience of hope. Valan stood before the charred remains, the eye of Thalia heavy in his pocket. He closed his eyes, his senses reaching out, seeking any trace of Steshni's magic. He felt it then, a faint echo, a whisper of power emanating from the basement. The hidden chamber, untouched by the fire, awaited him. He descended, his heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and dread. The lantern still flickered, casting its eerie glow on the dusty chamber. And there, amidst the shadows, stood Steshni. Time had changed her. Her fiery hair was streaked with silver, her face etched with the passage of years. But her eyes, those emerald pools of magic, still burned with the same intensity. Beside her stood a tall, imposing figure shrouded in a hooded cloak. Valan recognized him instantly. Pritchard, the Order's most ruthless enforcer, the man who had hunted them relentlessly. What was he doing here? Section 7. Ghosts of the Past. The air crackled with tension. Valan's hand instinctively went to the hilt of his dagger. Steshni raised her hand, a silent plea for calm. She turned to Pritchard, her voice low and steady. "You can show yourself now," she said. "He knows." Pritchard lowered his hood, revealing a face etched with weariness and regret. His gaze met Valan's, and for a moment, a flicker of something akin to understanding passed between them. "I owe you both an apology," Pritchard said, his voice heavy with remorse, and an explanation. He launched into a tale of betrayal and manipulation, of a conspiracy that reached the highest echelons of the Order. He spoke of how he had been deceived, how he had hunted them mercilessly, only to discover the truth too late. Valan listened, his anger warring with a strange sense of relief. He had spent years seeking answers, fueled by vengeance and a desperate hope. Now the truth, however painful, set him free. Section 8. A New Purpose. The revelation changed everything. Valan, Steshni and Pritchard, once enemies bound by fate and circumstance, found themselves united by a common goal. The Order, corrupted from within, had to be stopped. The eye of Thalia, pulsing with its ancient power, held the key. Steshni explained that it could be used to expose the Order's lies, to reveal the truth to the people they had oppressed for so long. But using it was fraught with danger, a gamble that could cost them everything. "Are you willing to risk it?" Steshni asked, her gaze steady. Valan didn't hesitate. He had faced dragons, cheated death, and plumbed the depths of his own darkness. He had nothing left to lose except the faint glimmer of hope that they could right the wrongs of the past. "Let's do it," he said, his voice firm. Section 9. The Road Ahead. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and the unknown. But as Valan stood shoulder to shoulder with Steshni and Pritchard, a new sense of purpose filled him. He was no longer the scared orphan, the shadow in the night. He was Valan Aulderfang, thief, survivor, and now perhaps a beacon of hope in a city shrouded in darkness. The eye of Thalia pulsed warmly in his hand, a promise of a future, yet unwritten. The fight for justice, for truth, for the very soul of their city had just begun. And Valan, with Steshni by his side and Pritchard watching their backs, was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The ashes of the past had given birth to a new beginning. And in the heart of the storm, Valan Aulderfang found his true calling.